Yes, very good evening, everybody. Please tell me, am I audible? You can send your comments in the chat box on YouTube. I'm seeing all your comments. Please tell me, is my voice clear to everybody? Okay. Thank you, Hemalata. Thank you, Akhil. Yes, good evening. So welcome to this special session of Reflections with Dr. Vivekananda. My name is Dr. Chaitra. And today I'll be talking about the most important areas on which you should focus for sure. I'm repeating this word for sure. Okay, in the remaining 14 days, that is in the remaining 2 weeks. From tomorrow onwards, you have only 2 weeks for your examination of prelims. So in this remaining 2 weeks, if at all you concentrate more on these priority areas, then definitely you are going to have a lot of confidence before entering the examination hall. And with this confidence, a lot of positivity in your mind, you are definitely going to do well in your examination. Okay, yes. Now, so now, before we begin our class, I want to know something from you all. Okay, please participate actively in the chat box. Yeah, so tell me, how many of you are not being calm and composed? I repeat, how many of you are not being calm and composed? Please send your responses in the chat box. It's okay. Nobody is going to think negative about you. You can be totally transparent. You can be open and frank. So tell me. I'll wait for your responses, but please keep responding because this is how we can interact, right? And interactive sessions are always the wonderful sessions so that we get to know what you're thinking and what your mindset is all about. Okay, Akhil says, little bit nervous about the revision, ma'am. Okay, Akhil, but I really appreciate you because you are doing your revision. You have used the word of revision. So I totally believe that you're totally into revision, and this is very an appreciating thing. All of you should start with revision now. I mean, this is the time to highly revise. It's not the time to start with new concepts, but it is a time to revise whatever you have done till now. You have done a lot till now. So keep on revising your mock test, keep on revising the static part because static is very, very important. Do not ignore static. Do not just go with the current affairs. Current affairs is never ending. Okay, if you just read 1 year current affairs, you will be confident enough to appear in the examination, but don't keep on reading current affairs. Focus more on static part, right? Other responses? Please, I'm waiting for responses. Okay, fine. Yeah, even if you don't want to tell it openly, you will be knowing the answer, right? So if your answer is yes, then think what is that thing or what are those things which is or which are bothering you more. If you feel tensed, I'm telling you all, please listen to me carefully. If you feel tensed, it means that you're slowly moving away from the entrance of success. Prelims is the first gateway. And if you feel tensed here itself, then how are you going to reach the other two gates? And how are you going to come out with a smiling and satisfactory face after facing the interview board? I have told this in all my recent classes and I repeat in this class also. See, do not become the reason for your own failure. It is you and only you who should handle yourself now. Keep this in mind, and your mind will have enormous power now. Do you know this? Your mind will have enormous power to do anything the way you direct it. So give your mind the right directions. Your concentration will be so high now. Don't give this energy to your tension. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to take much time in this class. We'll just quickly have this discussion about which areas you have to focus upon, and that we should not skip these areas in these 2 weeks. Okay. Yes. So I hope all of you have seen my previous session on how to approach different subjects and how to schedule your day. If you haven't watched it, you please watch it. It is definitely going to help you, because we have received personal messages from students saying that this particular approach of scheduling your day and approaching different subjects in a different way has been helping a lot of students. So if at all you haven't watched it, please do. And yeah, if I may know, how many of you are following it? Please respond. I want responses from you. How many of you are following the schedule I have given in my previous session? Sailaja says yes. Very good, Sailaja. Others? Okay. Okay. Very good, Akhil. Even Akhil has been following it. Very good, Monica. Okay, very good. My experiments with music. I think you're a music lover. Yeah, very good. So all of you, I really like like I'm sure that all of you are on right path. So please do it that way. Yeah. So yeah. So along with that schedule, you can just keep this PDF with you and tick mark. Like after this class, I'm going to share this PDF in the group. So you just tick mark if you have completed all these, because these are the priority areas which you have to concentrate upon. Supraja says yes, very good, Supraja. Very good, Chaitanya. Very good, Kundan. Yeah. So, okay, now let's get into the discussion. Yeah. So when we talk about high priority areas and when we talk about the subjects, the first subject which comes to every aspirant's mind is polity. So we are going to first start with polity. Okay. Now, when you take polity, all of you without an exception know what to read from polity, right? But you just read it passively. Don't do it. There are certain aspects of polity, and polity, the questions which are being asked by UPSC is purely static. So if you're perfect with the static parts, then nobody is going to stop you from marking all the polity questions right. Just imagine, if at all UPSC gives you at least 10 questions in polity, you're definitely going to then gain 20 marks there itself. If at all it gives 15 questions, 30 marks, you're going to put it in your basket. So please do not ignore polity. You start your revision with polity. If at all you have started your revisions also, be perfect with polity. Make sure you first complete this subject of polity, put it aside, and then go with other subjects, because polity is that much important. Everything, other aspects of laws, amendments, legislations, the current affairs, they are indirectly or directly related with political aspects and polity. So please do not ignore. Right. So see, I have divided the segments this way. Now see here, Constitution. You have to know about all the parts of Constitution and what those parts have inside them and all the schedules, right? UPSC is asking direct questions from parts as well as schedules. So this becomes very, very easy for you. Then features of Constitution. Now, what are you going to talk about the features of Constitution? All the basic features of Constitution, the making of Constitution, right? All the federal features, especially UPSC is concentrating on federal features, unitary features, right? So all these you have to be perfect. Then the next one is the drafting committee members. I'm talking about the features here, so please concentrate on this particular aspect of features. So federal features, unitary features, drafting committee members, just go in a chronological order. like right from the formation of constitution, what happened while during the formation of constitution and what happened after the formation of constitution. Okay, if you follow this chronology and if you follow this particular members involved in the committees, drafting committee, this constitution forming committees, then definitely you're not going to make a mistake there. Okay, yeah. So this is about features. Then basic structure, obviously you have a list of basic structure. I believe all of you or most of you, 95% of you have been following this Lakshmikant. So basic structure has been given in a very good way in Lakshmikant. You should not leave any single word from the basic structure. Okay, that is one aspect. Then the other aspect is, see, I'm going to take this as first part. I told you we are going to see 50 priority areas. Now this part, which has constitution parts, schedules, features of constitution and basic structure of constitution, this is the first part which you have to be perfect about. Okay, which you have to be perfect about. This is the first thing. Then the second one is preamble. UPSC dies to give questions on preamble. So what you need to be perfect in preamble? Every word in preamble. Sorry. Every word and its meaning in preamble. If at all, see, whenever, like in this particular 14 days, when you're reading quickly, just open Wikipedia and check the first 2 lines or first 3 lines meaning of every word given in preamble. Even in NCERT, it is given very, very clearly, because UPSC is asking those basic questions from preamble, which many students are failing to answer in that confusion. And when you're in that examination hall, you are forgetting the basic meaning of it. So please go through every word given in preamble. Then the next one is fundamental rights, DPSPs, as well as fundamental duties. UPSC may ask around, see, this becomes your second part, and trust me, UPSC can ask around 4 to 5 questions from only this part. So now think how important this part is. Now tomorrow when you're beginning your revision for polity, from tomorrow onwards, if at all you're going to begin, see, first you complete these aspects in priority wise. Fundamental rights, read every right, read every DPSP, read every fundamental duty. And one more thing, along with constitutional rights plus legal rights. Because UPSC is confusing the aspirants by giving these words of constitutional rights and legal rights, right? So you focus on these things. This is the second part. Then third part is President, Council of Ministers, Governor, and emergency provisions. Okay, this becomes your third part. Now, when you see this, see, about President, about Governor, about Council of Ministers, what is more important is the articles. Please do not ignore articles here. Please do not ignore the articles here. Okay, every article is important, and you have to relate the articles between President and Council of Ministers, Governor and State Council of Ministers, President and Governor, different articles. Okay, President and Prime Minister, if at all they're involved. So this is very, very important. The next aspect is about emergency. Emergency, entire chapter is important. Entire chapter of emergency is very, very important. Okay, this is the third aspect. Then this becomes your fourth aspect. This becomes your fourth aspect. What is this? Parliament, state legislature, and parliamentary committees. In my classes, I have told students to read immediately one after another, parliament as well as state legislature. So this way you won't be confused, because most of the things or most of the actions taken by these legislatures are one and the same. So please do not get confused here and read parliament, state legislature at a time along with parliamentary committees. Now, what is important in parliamentary committees? You have to know about the members. You have to know about the members, number of the members in each committees, like who is the majority and who is the chairman. chairman, who plays an important role. Okay, all these are being asked in parliamentary committees. So please do not ignore parliamentary committees also, right? Yeah. So the next one is center state relations, administration of UTs, scheduled areas, cooperative societies, right? Now, when you talk about center state relations, see, you have to be perfect with water disputes between all the states. India is a country with a lot of water disputes happening in the states, and this is present in your current affairs. This is comfortably given in your current affairs. So once you're perfect with revising your current affairs, you will be done with this aspect. Administration of UTs and the role of governor and president is very, very important here. Role of governor plus president. Where does the governor play a role? Where does the president plays a role? So this is very, very important. Now this becomes your fifth part or fifth priority area. Scheduled areas, as I told you, it's very, very important. Along with PES Act also, you have to be perfect with these scheduled areas. Next, cooperative societies. Now, can anybody tell me why did I include cooperative societies in the priority area? Please tell me, why did I include cooperative societies in the priority area? Okay, Monica says ministry. Just about ministry, Monica. Sailaja says celebrating. What celebrating, Sailaja? Sujita says amendment issue of multi-state cooperative societies. Very good, Sujita. Yes, yes. So this can be a question. Now tell me, I'll just tell you a statement. You tell me if that statement is right or wrong. Okay. Yes, Virat's recent Supreme Court judgment. Yes, Ravi, ministry form. Yes, along with ministry, the recent amendment is in news. Okay. Saras Chandra, current affairs. Saras Chandra has given the easiest response by saying current affairs. Obviously, Saras Chandra, it is there in current affairs, but I was asking why this is important now. Why did I specifically I'm talking about cooperative societies, right? Kaveri says recent amendment. Yeah. So I'll just tell you all a statement and you tell me if my statement is right or wrong, right? So recently, Supreme Court has quashed the 97th amendment. I repeat, recently Supreme Court has quashed the 97th Amendment, 97th Amendment Act. Is my statement right or wrong? If it is right, why? If it is wrong, why? Yes, sir, is 97th Amendment. Yeah, so please give me the reasons. Monica and Viraj are saying no. Kaveri is also saying no. Kundan is also saying no. So why? Yes, very good, Monica. Very good. It is part of it has been squashed. So please, when you're in that examination hall, don't fail to see this word called part. Okay, Sujita says no, it has retained provisions of multi-state cooperatives. Yes. Supraja says not complete 97. Yes. So I have given you all this example because you should see, I keep on telling you all that 50% of the answer lies in the questions itself. In about 70% of the questions, 70% of questions in UPSC paper, 50% of the answer lies in the question itself. And you can easily deduct the wrong answers, provided you have this calm and composed state of mind in the examination hall. Because some students tend to miss such statements. See, they just see 97th Amendment and they'll think, yes, 97th Amendment is there. That is the reason we are having this cooperative societies. That so I'll mark it right. Whereas the aspirant will ignore to see whether it is complete 97th Amendment or the part of this amendment provisions. So this is an example I want to tell you all that focus on every word in prelims, every word of the question. Not just about this, for everything. And also while answering, you also need to focus on which of the above is right or which of the above is not right. Please focus on the word of not there. UPSC is not going to mark this not. It is not going to underline the word not. It is not going to give this not in a bold letters. No, it will confuse you. It will confuse you. So please concentrate. If it is asking which of the following is right or which of the following is not right and which of the following is wrong. So while reading the question itself, you underline what is being asked. Okay. Yeah, yes, my experiments with music. Yes, even about this doctrine also, it is mentioned. And this can be an extended part about this article of cooperative society. So you can be perfect with this particular doctrine also, which can be asked, Even the difference of all the doctrines can be asked as match the following. Okay. Yes, Sailaja, it is still a fundamental right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is about cooperative societies. And I told you about fifth one. Next, the sixth part is about the constitutional bodies and statutory bodies. I'm not going to discuss, I'm not going to tell what you have to read. See, you know, when you take about the constitutional bodies, you have to be perfect with Finance Commission first, because we have recently had this 15th Finance Commission report. So every point about, or every point, not every point, the most important points of 15th Finance Commission and the devolution to states is very, very important from this year's point of view. Last year it was expected, but it was not asked. So this year it can be a question. So please do not skip reading 15th Finance Commission. Next, UPSC, obviously you have to be perfect with every line of UPSC. You are preparing for UPSC, so you have to know every point about UPSC. So be perfect with that. Then you also need to know about the vulnerable societies. For example, the National Commission for SCs, STs, backward classes, CAG. CAG is very, very important for this year. Attorney General, though it is a very small part of the syllabus, it is very, very important from UPSC point of view. It is one of the favorite topics of UPSC. So please read every line about Attorney General. Then you also need to know who among these come under pleasure of President and the security of tenure. So please concentrate on security of tenure and pleasure of President. This is very, very important. Also reappointment. So pleasure of President. I'm just writing it in shortcuts. Pleasure of President. Then what did I say? Appointment, reappointment, reappointment. And one more important aspect of polity is which is not part of Constitution. I have told to my Gati current affairs students to make a note of all the aspects which are exactly not part of Constitution. So I hope they are maintaining that notebook and I hope they are revising that notebook. So please be perfect with those aspects which are not mentioned in the Constitution in a clear way. Okay, this is very, very important. This you have to know. Then when you talk about statutory bodies, you need to know about CVC, CBI. CBI was asked in the last year mains. So there is a possibility of it being asked in prelims, right? General consent of state. All this is very, very important from this year's point of view. You have to know about Lokpal, Lokayuktas, Niti Ayog. Niti Ayog is also very, very important. I told my Gati students to make a note of all the aspects wherever they see Niti Ayog. So please keep on concentrating on it more. You will definitely get one question on Niti Ayog. Definitely. After prelims, if you note down these points, you will tell me. You will definitely get a question on Niti Ayog, right? Directly or indirectly. So this becomes your sixth part and this becomes your seventh part. Now, what is this part? Tribunals and judiciary. Judiciary in the sense, all about Supreme Court, all about High Court, and all about the lower judiciary also. Please do not ignore lower judiciary. All the writ jurisdictions, everything, all the articles of Supreme Court, and relate Supreme Court articles with President, relate High Court articles with Governor, and wherever you can relate it now only. This is the time where you keep on turning your pages, where you keep on reading, because I told you, this is that time where your mind will listen to whatever you directed, whatever you dictate to your mind is going to listen to it. You try it tomorrow is Sunday, you try it tomorrow and tell anything to your mind, it will definitely do it. You are at this point of stage where your mind will listen to you. So please give right directions to your mind and make your mind active in revising. Think that you are giving a BTech exam. Think that you are doing you keep on sitting throughout the night for the next day's exam, right? I'm not asking you all to sit throughout the night, but still, that is how you read in a single night. So why can't you do it for the 14 days now? 14 days is not a small amount of time. Please don't feel depressed that you have less amount of time. You can do a lot in this 14 days. Okay. Yeah. So the next one is, this is the 8th part, and this is about recent legislations and amendments. This is all about current affairs. Current affairs. So all the recent legislations, and especially, I repeat, please concentrate the legislations about society for vulnerable people. Vulnerable people, for women, for physically disabled persons, all these people, okay, whichever legislation, even for health, education, the recent legislations, recent amendments, please do not ignore. It's okay if you ignore draft. Okay, I'm telling you, it's okay if you ignore draft legislations, but do not ignore the legislations or laws or which have been made into acts. Okay, please remember this. Right? Fine with polity? If you want to add anything also, you can add it yourself and you can give a quick revision about all this. Okay. Yes. Now, like apart from this, you have to also read about, like when you talk about legislations, you have to read about all the bills. Money bill is a favorite aspect. It has been asking from the past 3 years continuously. Joint sitting of parliament, speaker, chairman, motions passed in the parliament. Everything comes under this heading of parliament. So I told you, entire chapter, full chapter is important. Do not ignore a single line. Do not ignore a single line. Right? Yeah. So now we are done with 8 parts in polity. So please make sure that you complete these 8 parts before you get into something else. Right? Yeah. Now, the second aspect is economy. Economy is entirely basics. If you see the previous year questions, it is asking more from basics. If you have this basic knowledge and if you have seen it in current affairs, then definitely you can mark it right. Definitely you can mark it right. You need not worry about economy. You need not feel scary about economy. And one more thing, you need not leave economy to answer it at the end. I know many aspirants do this. How many of you do this? How many of you put economy to answer it towards the end? Tell me frankly. Please tell me. I'm waiting for your responses. Okay, Supraja says no. Very good, Supraja. So she's not scared of economy. Others? Please respond. Okay, Kundan says yes. Akhil says no. Kundan, from now onwards, you will not leave this economy to the last, like to answer it towards the end, because you know now that you have to be perfect with basics of economy. So do not feel scared. Okay, Sailaja also does the same thing. Kaveri, very good. She doesn't do it. Yeah, so do not do this. Do not leave. Do not get scary, because if you feel scary at the subject, then you won't even be able to see the question properly. With that fear in mind, you won't see the question properly. Even if it is a very easy question on a direct formula of national income or a basic question about SLR or CRR also, you are going to make many mistakes. So please first leave this fear. Economy is very easy from basics point of view. UPSC will ask only basics. It knows that students are very, like, they are not perfect in economy unless they take economy as their option, or either they had this subject in their degree or inter. So UPSC knows this. It won't torture students in the form of economy. It will torture students in the form of framing questions by confusing you all. And if you have this fear in your mind, then obviously you will fall into this trap of UPSC. You will lose your marks there. So do not give yourself to UPSC this way. Sujita says, how much should we focus on general economics, ma'am, in the last days? Sujita, it is always better to focus on 12th standard NCERT now. 12th standard NCERT. Okay, you will have like some concepts in 11th NCERT, which you can definitely, I think you have completed all this in your mock test also, economy sectional test also. So concentrate on 12th standard NCERT and keep revising your mocks and compare it with current affairs. That's it. You're done with economy. Sailaja also puts it towards the end. Then my experiments with music. Actually, like your ID, my experiments with music. Economy is a logical and a very good one. Yes, exactly. It is a very good one. Provided you understand these concepts well, you can really answer the questions very well. You will find it interesting in the examination hall also. Try it in these remaining days to do some economic questions, do some economic previous year bits. You will definitely know. Okay, yeah, so basics, as I told you, as Sujita has asked this question, you can concentrate on 12th NCERT as well as some concepts in 11th NCERT, okay, which will be very, very easy for you. Also, if somebody like has already followed this Shankar Ganesh book, it has given in a very good language, in a very simple language. So people who haven't followed this, please do not start this book now. Don't start anything new now. Please, I repeat, for the people who have already done this Shankar Ganesh, they can revise that book once again, right? So other people, they can keep on revising NCERTs, do mocks, and revise mocks as well as revise the current affairs. That's it. You are definitely going to score full marks in economy. Trust me. Trust me. I have seen students who have scored very good marks in economy in spite of being very weak in economy. It's all about how you apply your mind in the examination hall. Yes, Sujit, it is macroeconomy. I meant macroeconomy only. Okay, yeah. So 5-year plans, yeah. So I'll give you all a tip to remember this 5-year plans. For 5-year plans, if at all you haven't done anything till now, it's totally fine. If you just search 5-year plans UPSC in Google, you will get files which are already prepared. Okay, so download those files and read only the important points of what is done in each 5-year plan. From the first 5-year plan, just to read what is done in each 5-year plan. Just remember, that's it. If at all you sit in the option, you will definitely mark it right. So UPSC is asking questions on 5-year plans, right? So do not ignore this. So now this becomes your 9th part. Yeah. Next one is budget, economic survey, and trends in each sector of economy. Now, when you talk about trends, that is already given an economic survey. Now, for economic survey, please do not go with the entire economic survey. Read only the gist. Gist of any institute material is fine. For budget, obviously, budget, you have to know all the newly introduced ones. All the newly introduced ones, new ones. Okay, and you just read the intro about this newly introduced ones and what it is started for and what use it has in the economy, in the Indian point of view, as well as specifically in the economic point of view. So please read the budget, economic survey gist, only gist, and trends in each sector of economy. This can be read from economic survey as well as current affairs. The trends are given in a very good way in current affairs materials. Yeah, like be it you follow any current affair material, that's totally fine. But trends are given, and just remember, do not remember numbers. I'll write it here. Do not remember numbers, but order of anything. Remember the order of anything. If you're talking about agriculture, energy, industry, remember, put some thing for it, like we have done in Gati sessions. Like my Gati students know how to put this order and how to remember this with very good sentences. They have come up with their own sentences in Gati classes, and now they remember these sentences very, very well. So you just remember this order of anything, either increasing order or decreasing order, but do not remember the numbers. Remember this. Okay, yeah. So now this becomes your 10th part. Next one is strengthening of banks and regulations, new initiatives of RBI. Again, this becomes your 11th part, and this is entirely current affairs. Everything, wherever RBI is involved, new initiatives of RBI, you have to read it. Strengthening of banks, whenever RBI or the government does anything to strengthen the banks, especially the PSPs, then you have to remember it. If the government or RBI has come up with any specific regulations, then you have to remember it, right? So all this is very, very important. This is there under your current affairs part. Okay, yeah. Sujita, this can be, see, you need not get into details about this, Sujita. You can just see the trends. For example, agriculture trends, and what industries, you can just go with NCRTs and see the map-based NCRT questions. When you talk about industries, questions are being asked with the help of maps. So places and maps. So UPSC is asking match the following. So this way you can concentrate, but do not get into details of the sectors. UPSC won't ask you the details of the sectors. You just know the trend, which is increasing, which is decreasing. Now, please stop focusing on, if at all you see continuously increasing, continuously decreasing, I'll mark it wrong. No, UPSC has forgotten this. UPSC has forgotten this. Now, please don't fall into trap by thinking that if at all there is continuously increasing, continuously decreasing, I'll mark it wrong. Do not think it this way. Please apply your mind. Apply your mind. Okay. Yeah. Even this we have seen in Gati sessions. Wherever we see any uncommon sentences, I made you all write in the notebook, right? So you can go through that Gati book also. Next one is inflation. Inflation is a very, I can say like very for 4 times to 5 times. So inflation, it's a very important topic. So you have to know all about every aspect of inflation, every topic of every point of inflation. Okay. So whole chapter of inflation is important. The types of inflations, CPI, WPI, who releases them, and what are the different aspects in them, like which is the base here. If you have this some basic points in your mind, then that's totally fine. Okay. So inflation is very, very important. And along with inflation, the curves, because it was asked in mains, last year mains, right? So even the curves also is important. The shape, the economic recovery curves, the shape of curves, all this, you just need to know what it is asking for and what change it is giving in the economy point of view. This you have to know. So please read curves also. Next, RBI steps and operations to control it, because I have written this statement of RBI steps and operations to control it, because UPSC is indirectly asking, if at all there is inflation, what can be done to turn this inflationary situation into a better situation of economy. So please be perfect with this, right? Yeah. And along with this, you also need to know about appreciation, depreciation. All these are basic concepts. This is what I meant by basic concepts. All this capital adequacy ratio, CRR, SLR, STF. Can anybody tell me what is standing deposit facility? Can anybody tell me what is standing deposit facility? Without searching on Google, please. Don't search on Google. Just test your own knowledge. Okay, Akhil says short loan. Can you be even more clear, Akhil? I'll wait for other responses. Standing deposit facility. Akhil, I think you haven't attended my class yesterday. Yeah, I understood when you said short loan. I understood that it is short-term loan. Yeah, but complete your statement. Complete your statement, Akhil. All those who have attended my class yesterday. Kaveri says loans by RBI to states and center. Be even more specific, Kaveri. Saras says liquidity adjustment facility related. Yes, very good, Saras. So these are the terms you have to learn. When you're talking from economy point of view, you have to answer from the economy point of view only by using such terms like how Saras has used. Other responses? See, STF is nothing but this is actually a new absorb excess liquidity from the, very good, Saras. Yes. So see, this is okay. Okay, tell me, is this compulsory for banks or voluntary for banks? I'll see who all will answer this question. Is STF compulsory for banks or voluntary? Yes, very good, Sujita. To remove liquidity, very good, Kavya. No collateral. Yes, yesterday we have seen this, right, Kavya? Like we have highlighted about no collateral. Very good. Yes. Newton says parking of funds at RBI with high interest rate. Are you sure? Parking of funds at RBI is right, Newton, but are you sure about high interest rate? Can you reframe your sentence? This is a very new concept. That is the reason I'm asking you. Because UPSC has asked about this marginal standing facility rate, MSF, right? All this it has asked. Now it may ask about this new concept of SDF. So you have to know the basic points of SDF. For every economic concept, make sure that you know at least 4 points in every concept. This way you will not forget. Very good. Yes, it is voluntary. Yes, very good, Sujita, Saras, Supraja, Kaveri. Yes, it is voluntary. It is not compulsory for the banks. It is voluntary. So they keep, banks will have an option. It is not compulsory. They will be given an option to put their excess liquidity with the RBI at the interest rate of 3.75%. Please remember this specific interest rate also. Yes, yes, Kundan, very good. It is higher than the repo rate. Yes. Manohar, yes. Voluntary. Divya, yes. Without any collateral given to states. Yes, yes. It is not to states, Divya. It is banks. It is the banks versus RBI. Banks and RBI. Saresh changes the policy corridor. Yes, yes, Saresh. Liquidity adjustment policy corridor. Yes. Yes, very good. So now let us get back. Yeah. So RBI steps and operations, I told you this. So this you have to know. This is how you see that. That's what I told by the basic aspects. Okay. All this money supply aspects, national income aspects. Okay. All these are the basic things which you have to know. UPSC will just simply twist these questions and ask you. Whereas they are very, very easy to answer. Now this becomes your 12th part. Now the next one is financial inclusion, rating agencies, and digital banking. This is very, very important. Very, very important. This becomes your 13th part. And when you talk about financial institutions is nothing but about all the schemes used to ensure this financial inclusion towards the backward areas and towards the all areas, all the people. So the lead bank scheme, right? It was asked, it was a previous year UPSC question. The payment banks, microfinancing aspects, small finance bank, NABARD. So everything comes under this financial inclusion. So it is very, very important. Next comes rating agencies. Rating agencies is a news. So you can read it from the current affairs because there is this controversy with the rating agencies. What do? They do not give the rating according to what exactly is happening in the economy. That is what the Indian economists are worrying about. So that is the reason, as is the news, rating agencies can be asked. So please be perfect with this. Digital banking. This is very, very important. It can be asked. It can be asked. I mean, you will definitely get a question on digital banking. So all these neo banks, these autonomous institutions of traditional banks. Okay, do autonomous institutions of traditional banks come under traditional banks or digital banks? Tell me. Autonomous banking institutions of traditional banks. Do we call them under traditional banks or digital banks? Yes, yes, Supraja, fixed interest rate. Very good. Kundan says digital. Manohar digital, Supracha digital. Yes, very good. They come under digital banks. Please remember, please do not get confused by the word of traditional banks there. So autonomous institutions of the traditional banks come under digital banks. So all the neo banks, all this come under digital banking. So every aspect, this also you can read from current affairs. So please do not ignore it. Okay. The next one is agriculture trends, subsidies, modern practices, MSP, modern practices of agriculture, then crops. Whenever you say any genetically modified crops, then all these are very, very important. I have included agriculture under economy only. It can be asked because you will definitely get at least 3 questions. At least 3 direct or indirect. From this part of 14th. So please be perfect with this. And as Sujita was talking about these trends, Sujita, in agriculture trends, you can see from the current affairs also and from the economic survey also. Wherever you see any article about agriculture from the current affairs, the trends are given there itself, especially in the Vision IS current affairs. If at all you follow it, you can see it. So you just see it, what exactly is happening. And you need to know, like in which particular aspect or in which particular crop India is importing more, India is exporting more, and in which rank does India have? This we have seen in our Gati classes, and I made all the Gati students make a note of all these points, right? So please be perfect with which leading producer India is, or India is leading consumer of what? First, second, third, fourth, what? The number you have to remember very, very well, right? All the modern practices of agriculture can be asked under science and technology also, and all the genetically modified crops also can be intermingled and asked along with science and technology. No, Newton, they are not traditional banks, they are digital banks. Please remember, the autonomous institutions of traditional banks are digital banks. Okay, yeah. So next, bonds, FDI, FII, disinvestment, all these are parts 15. And foreign exchange. See, when you talk about foreign exchange, now you need to know about the currency exchanges, right? Everything about the foreign currency exchange reserves, foreign exchange reserves, remittances, bonds, purchasing power parity, rupee convertibility, currency crisis in all the, like in all these states, all the countries, especially if at all it is happening in the Asian states. Okay, and by keeping in mind the Russia-Ukraine crisis, you have to need to be perfect about SWIFT, right? All these are very, very important. All this can be asked. SWIFT, current account deficit, because of all the international implications on India. All this can be asked. Okay, bonds also you have to be very perfect. Like what happens if inflation happens? Is the bond receiver gaining or the bond giver gaining? All this you have to know. FDI, I have made Gati students make a note of all the FDI sectors at one place. So please go through that. FII, disinvestment, is very, very important. You have to know the difference between what is asset management, what is strategic disinvestment, what is disinvestment, and where the private ownership is there, where the government ownership is there. All this you have to see. Foreign exchange, I told you all, India's trade with the world. This you can see from imports and exports point of view in your current affairs. Right? Yeah, this is about economy. So it's a very, very, I repeat, economy is very, very easy, provided you have this calm and composed mind in the examination hall, and provided you leave this fear behind about economy. Right? The next one is geography. Now, geography. You need to concentrate on concepts. Geography is all about concepts. So like in my geography sessions, we have dealt with concepts in a very good way. So if possible, you can go through those videos and go through the files posted in reflections group. So Indian geography, everything about Indian geography, including the basics of latitudes and longitudes. Please do not ignore the NCRT, especially 11th NCRT. 11th NCRTs. Okay, this is very, very important. The two NCRTs of 11th standard is very, very important. So when you take up geography, when you take up to read geography, please be perfect with 11th NCRT first. Only then you read 9th, 10th and 12th NCRT. Okay, please remember, first complete 11th NCRT along with GC Leong. There is this highlighted PDF of GC Leong in the reflections group. I have highlighted it personally. I have put in a lot of effort to do it. So please make good use of that file, right? Yeah. So Indian rivers and tributaries, UPSC is asking every year. It is asking either about Ganga, Brahmaputra, about the major rivers, about even the smaller rivers of South Indian states especially. So please be perfect with that. Then physiography of Northeast. Northeast is very, very important. We think that Northeast is a separate entity from the Indian peninsula, whereas it is very, very important. So as I keep on repeating in my classes, UPSC focuses on vulnerable aspects more. Now, when you take the entire Indian continent or Indian subcontinent, if you take, it is Northeast, which is most vulnerable with all the issues happening, with the neighboring countries. So please concentrate on Northeast, right? Physiography of Northeast, all the mountains, all the rivers, all the issues, like whichever we have with the boundary disputes we have with the other countries, right? Next one is monsoon. Monsoon is also very, very important. You have to be perfect with the concept. If you know the concept, then trust me, you need not read every line. I repeat, if you know the concepts in geography, you need not read every line in geography textbooks. So please concentrate on concepts. At least make a, just see, I'll tell you. If at all, I'll give you a tip. If at all you want to revise about El Nino, right? Just close your eyes, sit for 2 minutes and think what are the points you know about El Nino. Then you open the book and see. Then you see. If you miss any points, you read those points then and you will never forget those points. So read those points then itself. You will never forget those points. Okay. Yeah. So this is first aspect. Then ports of India. UPSC is asking ports. Even if you take from the ancient history point of view, medieval history point of view, the trade point of view, UPSC is relating ports in the form of match the following. And it is also asking which is a natural port, which is an artificial port, right? So this is very, very important. This can be asked. Now this becomes your 16th part. The next one is climatology concepts. I told you geography is entirely about concepts, and especially when it comes to climatology, it is more important. So climatic classification, GC Leong, and the files I have shared in the group. If you see those files and if you hear to the recordings, trust me, your entire climatic classification will be very, very sure. Now, geography students, I want you all to comment in the chat box on YouTube here about the geography climatic classification. Are you all perfect with climatic classification the way I have taught you all? Please respond in the comment box quickly. Selaja says yes. Supraja says yes. Kaveri says yes. Yes. So please go through those files and if possible, hear to the recordings. They are very, very useful and students have found it extremely useful. They remember the entire climatic classification now without getting confused in a very, very clear way. Okay. Yeah. So climatic conditions for crops. This is being asked because you have seen this cotton question previously, right? So students were shocked to see that question in the examination hall. Whereas it is very, very easy to answer if you catch up the specific terms. So climatic conditions for crops, vegetation, disasters. See all this. If you are perfect with climatic classification, you can definitely answer climatic conditions for crops as well as vegetation. You will never get confused again. So here lies the important aspect, that is climatic classification. Disasters, cyclones, heat waves are important from this year point of view. So please go through this. All the cyclones also in Gati sessions, I have made students like read from a PDF of all the cyclones. So just Gati students, please keep on revising that PDF. Okay. The next one is oceanography. Ocean currents, coral reefs. These are the most important aspects which UPSC is asking. About water also, about water, movement of oceanic water, then the gyres, ocean currents, then the direction of movement of currents, role of Coriolis force here. All these are very, very important, right? The next aspect is geomorphology, Earth's interior, geomorphic process. So this becomes your 19th point. Here you can also focus on earthquakes and volcanoes. Even this was an extremely good class, that was a very good class which I have taken in geography. So about earthquakes and volcanoes, you can just go to the files posted in reflections group, right? 19th, minerals and salts becomes your 20th part. Minerals and salts from your NCERT. I told you 11th NCERT, everything is given. So please revise more from geography point of view. Geography is entirely conceptual based and entirely static. You can gain a lot of marks in geography. I repeat, you can gain a lot of marks in geography if it is asked. So please do not ignore geography. Next one is environment, and environment can be related to current affairs as well as static part, whereas static part is asked less in environment. So this becomes your mapping of India. So mapping, obviously, see for mapping, I'll give you all a tip. You can follow Vision IAS Current Affairs magazine. In every month of this Current Affairs magazine of Vision IAS, he has given very good maps for India as well as the world. So you can just go through those mappings, just check those areas, and it will be very, very helpful for you all. This year, you have to focus on Russia, Ukraine areas, Asia, Europe, all these areas. Okay, please focus on mapping of India. India already, you're anyway going to read about wildlife sanctuaries, this national parks, rivers going through this, right? The tiger reserves. You have to know the border states, right? So all this will be covered under mapping of India. Please concentrate on the other aspects, which is clearly given in the Vision IAS Current Affairs magazine, right? Yeah. So this becomes your 21st part. Environment, 22nd part. Environment, air pollution. I am talking about air pollution because about clean air, a question was asked in last year mains. So there is every possibility. 2 questions were asked on this clean air in last year mains. So there is a possibility of a question being asked in this year prelims. UPSC tends to repeat the mains questions also in next year prelims, right? So please focus on air pollution and other contaminants, minor contaminants. If you see any like lead, mercury, ozone, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, greenhouse gases, all this, even hydrogen, like whenever they become pollutants, it becomes important from UPSC point of view, right? So please consider on this. The next one is mitigation of climate change, IPCC report, forest report 2021. This is very, very, very important part. Very important part. You should not skip this part at all. So everything about climate change, IPCC reports. We have many IPCC reports. So please go through that. Then we have forest report. Every point or every main point of forest report, the area, the percentage wise of forest in India, like about the states. So which is the topmost state, which is the bottommost state, especially when it comes to northeastern states. So everything is reported. Everything is important. Please do not ignore forest report. Next one is, this is your favorite aspect, and I know none of the UPSC aspirant is going to skip this. I know none of the UPSC aspirant is going to skip this part. So biodiversity basics about all the ecosystem part, energy flow, then this food chain system, right? All these primary producers, consumers, all these are covered in basics. So that you will get from your environment. I know all of you must be following this Shankar IAS, so you can go through that. Then protected areas, conservation parks, wildlife sanctuaries, wetlands, IUCN status, all these are very, very important. So please go through that. Then the next one is national laws and international conventions, major focus on India-led initiatives and these international conventions regarding climate change. It's very, very important. So this becomes your 25th part. India-led initiatives, you have to know, and in which particular thing India is a founding member, and in which particular thing India has joined, in which particular thing India has not ratified. All these are very, very important, right? The next one is biofuels, clean energy, green finance, and other funds for climatic issues, and then even the hydrogen aspects, coal gasification, carbon sequestration, waste to energy, all these are included in this particular point. So this becomes your 26th part, which is very, very important, right? Next, modern agriculture practices, recent pest attacks, pesticides, insecticides. UPSC is asking these things. Pest attacks, pest, fertilizers, all these things. So please do not ignore these aspects, right? Yeah. Next one is history. That is about environment. Next one is history and about ancient history. IVC. What is IVC? Harappan civilization, Indus Valley civilization, sites, examples, artifacts, and the uniqueness of every site. Uniqueness of every site is very, very important. So please, if at all, I think most of the aspirants will usually make a note of this uniqueness of the IVC and its sites. So if at all you have done it, please do not forget to revise, right? So this becomes your 28th part. Next, empires, Mauryas and Gupta, Sangam age. Now in this empires aspect, please do not read everything. Read only administration part. Administration part and the terminologies used in administration. Now this becomes your 29th part. Sangam age is very, very important from the South India point of view. Next, terminologies, I told you, ancient India, medieval India terminology is very, very important. If at all you have made a note at some place, then please revise this terminologies. Then chronology. See, I'll tell you, in history point of view, be it ancient, medieval or modern India, you need not remember the years always. If you remember the chronology, you can definitely answer the answer right way, in a right way. So please like close your eyes and think about chronology, right? So this becomes a 30th part. Medieval India, kingdoms like Vijayanagara kingdoms, Delhi Sultanates, Mughal. So this becomes your 31st part. I told you, you need to know about the order of rulers, exceptional things done by them, temples, places, trade, all this you have to, and administration also. Administration also. So this becomes your medieval history, and terminologies. Terminologies of medieval history is very, very important. Very, very important, because you will get all different names in medieval history. So it becomes very, very important. Travelers and books of rulers. So if at all these rulers or these kings have written any books, so please make a note and revise those books. UPSC is asking them. You will definitely gain marks here. Okay, this becomes a 33rd part. Next one is modern history. I know modern history, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. There is no excuse in modern history. So you have to know about governor generals and their works, economic impact on India, social religious reform movements, educational reforms is very, very important, about all the committees, then everything where Gandhiji was involved. So from whenever Gandhiji entered into India, that from that point onwards, modern India history takes a very significant turn. And every point wherever Gandhiji is involved is very, very important. So please do not ignore this part. Okay, then International Congress meetings. Every meeting and its uniqueness. Uniqueness of every meeting. So now this becomes your 34th part. Revolts and movements, all the revolts, 1857 revolt, what happened at which place, like who died and what, like who won, everything is important. And what are the causes for that revolt, the tribal movements, the peasant movements, even the land reform movements, right? All these are very, very religious movements also. All these are very, very important. So this becomes your 35th part. Newspapers and organizations. Usually, UPSC will focus on revolutionary organizations. Revolutionary parts. So this becomes your 36th part. So newspapers and organizations, revolutionary aspects, please go through this. Culture and religion. Culture and religion. So Buddhism and Jainism. See, I suggest all of you to go through Vivek sir's culture document. Because I can comfortably and I can surely say that when you talk about Buddhism and Jainism, nothing outside what Vivek sir has discussed in that PDF is going to come in UPSC, because he has discussed in detail in a very good way in his culture document regarding Buddhism and Jainism. Okay, so please go through this document for sure for culture. So Buddhism, Jainism, then Bhakti and Sufi saints. Why did I include Bhakti and Sufi saints here? Can anybody tell me? Why I'm specifically including this in priority areas? Can anybody tell me? Very good, very good, very good. My experiments with music, it is because of statue of equality. So everything becomes important from this point of view. Please be perfect with all the schools of philosophy also. You will definitely get a question on this for sure. Okay, so please don't ignore any of these aspects of Bhakti and Sufi saints. So UPSC is going to relate with Bhakti as well as Sufi. There is also this controversy going on regarding this Bhakti movement among this UPSC thing only. So I'm not going to reveal that controversy. I think all of you must be knowing it. So yes, so because of this only, this is a news. So this is very, very important. It can be asked, right? Next, schools of philosophy, this becomes the 37th part. Then architecture, World Heritage Sites of UNESCO becomes your 38th part. So you can just go through the Vivek sir's document as well as the culture reference book, whichever you have been following, right? Even if it is Nitin Singhania or CCRT from this website, so anything is fine. NCRT, anything is fine, right? So architecture, you have to be perfect with all the architectural forms, World Heritage Sites of UNESCO, intangible, tangible sites also. You just go through them because UPSC is asking them. These are the points or these are the places where you will definitely gain marks. So do not ignore these. You complete reading these first. The next one is martial arts, classical dances, music, literature works. Okay, this becomes the 39th part. Then the next one is science and technology. Science and technology is entirely current affairs oriented. If you take science, I'm not going to talk about general science. I didn't mention general science as a priority area here. Why? Because we do not know what UPSC will ask from physics, chemistry, and biology. We do not know. So we can't say which is the priority area in general science. So please you need not put a lot of time in reading about general science. It's okay even if you skip general science, but be perfect with other current affairs aspects of science and technology, right? So see gene editing and various applications, diseases, major and minor in India. This is very, very important after COVID outbreak. So vaccines also is very, very important. mRNA vaccines and all the vaccines, right? So DNA-based vaccines, RNA-based vaccines is very, very important from this year's point of view. Now this becomes your 40th part. This becomes your 41st part. ISRO, space, missiles, extraplanetary missions of other countries, like Vivek sir has made Gati students make a list of all the extraplanetary missions. So please go through that. DRDO initiative that boosts Indian security. There's a spelling mistake here. I'm going to change it. So see, now you have to remember all those initiatives taken up by DRDO. Majority will be DRDO. Now, how are you going to remember it? Remember what those initiatives which are not taken up by DRDO. I repeat, remember those initiatives which are not taken up by DRDO. So if at all you get any other aspects, you will definitely know that it is by DRDO. Right? Because DRDO does a lot of things. You can't remember a lot of things. So remember the exceptions which are not done by DRDO. So you can eliminate it. You can eliminate it. Right? So about all the missiles, the range of missiles, UPSC is asking about air to air, surface to air, right? All these anti-tank guided missiles. Like we have in Gati sessions, we have come up with very good phrases for all the missiles to remember. So please remember, keep on revising them. This becomes your 42nd part. Then fuel cells. It is very, very important this year. Fuel cells, about nuclear energy. Recently, yesterday itself, in Gati session of April Current Affairs, we have seen this Hadron Collider cell, the nuclear energy. So all this can be important. Then blockchain cryptocurrencies. UPSC has asked, it will keep on asking until we come up with a specific and accurate law for blockchain. UPSC will keep on asking about this. So please remember, you have to know, like till now, UPSC has asked only basics about cryptocurrencies. It has given just about this names of cryptocurrencies or any viruses of like viruses affecting this malware attacks attacking the systems. Whereas now UPSC can go in depth in this. So please read in depth. And the best source is Wikipedia. So this becomes your 43rd part. And quantum computing, there are specific names for the supercomputers, quantum computing. So please make sure. Can anybody tell me the prefix used for supercomputers in India? Can anybody tell me the prefix used for supercomputers in India? Don't worry, we'll end the class in 5 to 10 more minutes. Please tell me the prefix used for supercomputers in India. Gati students, I'll be disappointed if you fail to answer this. Yes, very good, Kavya. It is Param. Yes, Kavya. Yes, Divya. It is Param. So please be perfect with all the Param supercomputers. All supercomputers are important. Yes, Kaveri. Yes, Newton. Yes. So please be sure about please be perfect with, see, science and tech is very easy if you be perfect with current affairs. That's it. You can answer all the questions, all the application oriented questions. Okay. Everything lies in revision. Everything lies in revision. Right. The next one is international affairs, and you have to know about WTO, what is happening with agriculture aspect. Yesterday we had seen an article in Gati also. G20, the countries involved, EU, ASEAN, India Pacific and Quad, UN, all this, like you can add other bodies also. Okay, you can add other bodies also, other organizations and other bodies. There will be just one or two questions from this. If at all you're perfect with this, you just keep on revising, or else you can just skip also. Do not indulge more in this aspect. So this becomes your 44th. Next one is organizations with Indian position. So organization with Indian position, yeah, that means you need to know, like, is India associate member, is India full-time member, or is India is a like is it just it has come out of it. So all these are included in this Indian position. So this becomes your 45th part. This is important. Please do not ignore this. Okay. Yeah. Next, social issues about health, nutrition initiative. NFHS 5. It's very, very important. Then fertility clinics and laws, because fertility, like we are seeing what is happening with the aspects of fertility. We have seen a number of articles in current affairs. So this is in regards with current affairs. So please do not ignore this aspect. So this becomes your 46th part. Next, education, NEP, very, very important. You can read every line. Last year, it was not asked. This year, it can be asked. So please, please be perfect with every point of NEP. If at all you have any gist for NEP, just keep revising that just PDF of NEP or National Education Policy. So this becomes your 47th part. Yeah. So tribals, migrants, and issues. This is, again, I repeat, see, UPSC's favorite part is vulnerable aspects. So tribals are vulnerable, migrants are vulnerable. So all these are very, very important. So please be perfect with the current affairs aspects of tribals and migrants, right? So this becomes your 48th part. Drug menace in India, POXO Act, youth aspects in news. Okay, now this year you can ignore sports, because last year it was asked after some 90 some after some years. UPSC has asked about, after I think it was after 2008, UPSC is asking about sports. So I think this year it is not going to ask about sports again. So do not concentrate on sports much, but concentrate on whatever is happening with the youth of India. See, drug menace, this POXO Act, this children also the vulnerable, sexual trafficking, then youth aspects, all this becomes your, this becomes your 49th part. The next and the last part is Gati Current Affairs Notebook. This is your 50th part. Now, why did I mention Gati Current Affairs Notebook? Because in this notebook, please listen to me carefully, like who are, like students who are not part of Gati also will know what we have actually done in Gati sessions. So we have made a notebook for Gati. And in that notebook, you know what we have written? We have written about all the indexes, confusing ministries, exceptional statements, that means extreme statements, then all the central sector schemes, any days and significance of those dates, all the reports, all the autonomous bodies in whichever things India has not ratified, all the committees about UNDP, about UNEP, about World Bank, about IMF, about Niti Aayog, about all the legally binding agreements, about these ministerial meetings, about what are the bodies which are headed by Prime Minister, everything about RBI, everything about SEBI. So all this we have written at one place. So this is the significance of this Gati Current Affairs Notebook. So revise this notebook. This is your 50th priority area. That means not the last priority area. I'm just telling you all, okay? So this is one among your 50 priority areas. Fine. Now we are done with all the 50 priority areas. Now tell me if you want to add anything, or if you want to, like, you tell me, like, what's your feeling after this class? Is this class helpful to you all? Divya, Gati current affairs notebook. I mean, students who are part of this Gati current affairs, they have made a note of, I made them make note of all these things while teaching itself, while taking the classes itself. So they are having this notebook with themselves. They have made a note of all this at one place for the entire 1 year current affairs. For example, if you take World Bank, in the entire 1 year current affairs, wherever they have seen World Bank, they have written all those aspects under one page of World Bank. They have kept the heading as World Bank and they have written everything of World Bank points and in that page. So the same thing they have done for Niti Aayog, for RBI, for World Economic Forum, for every point in whichever India is the leading producer, all the confusing ministries. For example, if you see any toycathon, now if you see toycathon, now tell me to which ministry toycathon comes under. My experiments with music, that is the notebook of Gati students. So they have made that notebook. I just wanted them to revise that notebook. If you have friends who are part of Gati, then obviously you can take their help. Sailaja says, wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Sailaja. Yeah, so please tell me, how is this session helpful to you all? And also answer my question, to which ministry does toycathon come under? Please do not search on Google. Tell me with your own knowledge. I'm asking about the main ministry which implements toycathon. Yes, Divya, if you have any friends with Gati initiative, you can talk with them, or you can even now you can subscribe to Gati sessions. So you will be added in the Gati group. Then you will find all the files of Gati. Even now, if you get added in Gati group, you will get access to all the files which I have posted, all the discussion which students have made, and all these aspects in Gati group. Tell me, I haven't received responses yet. To which ministry does toycathon belong to? Syllabus is interministerial, which is the main ministry which organizes it. Newton Atmanirbhar Bharat to promote regional varieties. No, Newton. Toycathon, no. I asked about ministry. Divya says education. See, I'll tell you why I asked about this. Toycathon, whenever you see this word called toy, UPSC will give you the first option as Ministry of Textiles. And you will definitely go with Ministry of Textiles only. Whereas toycathon is actually organized mainly, the main role is played by Ministry of Education. So this is how there is this confusing ministries in current affairs, and in Gati sessions, I have made students write about all these confusing ministries at one place. Now they know to remember which ministry comes, like which part comes under which ministry. Yes, very good, Divya, very good, Kaveri, very good, Vinesh, Sailaja, Supraja, very good. Okay, yeah. So now I want, before ending my session, I want a big yes from all of you, that all of you are going to clear prelims 2022. I want a big yes from all of the people who are present in the class today. A big yes. Are you all going to clear prelims this time? Are you all going to put a lot of efforts, how much ever you can, in the remaining 14 days from tomorrow onwards? Kaveri says yes, Manohar yes, Supraja yes, Newton yes, others? Others, come on. Ravi, yes. Others, I need more yes from you all, more energy from you all. This 14 days, you have to have more energy. You have to clear prelims at any cost. You have to sit for mains at any cost. Do whatever you can in this 14 days to sit for mains. On June 5th, on the evening of June 5th, and please do not ignore CSAT. Yeah, please do not ignore CSAT. On June 5th, on the evening of June 5th, you have to feel happy. You have to call up your family and tell them that, yes, I'm going to clear this prelims with a comfortable margin. And I'm going to start preparing for mains after taking 2 days rest. Please take 2 days rest after prelims. Don't start immediately. Yeah, so my experiments with music, yes. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, yes, absolutely, yes. So Monica says yes, Divya says yes. Very good, very good. So have this energy with you all for the rest of the 14 days. And if you need any help, Vivekananda sir will always be available. I will always be available. So we are there to help you all. So please do not get depressed. Please do not get into stress. You can do this. You all can do this. Okay. Yeah. So now let's end our session for today. Good night, everybody. Keep revising, keep revising, keep revising. It is only revision that is going to make you clear prelims now. Till now, whatever you have read, if you don't revise it properly, you won't be able to apply it in the examination hall. So please, please, please revise. Put entire time of this 14 days into revision and see how much positivity you're going to see in your prelims results. Okay? Yeah. So Smiles says yes. Smiles, this is your first response. Padhu smiles. This is your first response. Divya, we will, ma'am. Yes, you have to, Divya. Salaja, yes. Hashim being, this is your first response. I like you, ma'am, but kindly tell, ma'am, what is the most important topic for I? What is this, Hashim? How can we say one important topic for prelims? We have talked about 50 important areas, right? Thank you for saying that you like me. Yeah, Supraja says, ma'am, somewhere we came across about toy making from 6th class, right? Yes, Supraja, see, Supraja now remembers this Gati sessions. Yes, Supraja, there itself, in the toy making sessions itself, we have seen a table. We have seen a table. And that's where we have read about NEP, National Education Policy, and toy making has been made mandatory for all the schools according to National Education Policy. That's where we have seen, Supraja. Hashim says, ma'am, what is the most important topic? Hashim, I told you, I gave you my response. Okay, most important topic ever. Revision. Revision is the most important topic for prelims. Hashim, revision is the most important topic for prelims. Yeah, so Nagasweta also says yes. Okay, so I'll just sit in this class for 5 more minutes. If you want to ask any suggestions, you can ask me, or else we'll end the session for today. Okay, others can leave the class. Good night, everybody. Yeah. Yeah, Hashim. Hashim is saying stay blessed, ma'am. Thank you, Hashim. Yeah, so I'm going to stay for 5 more minutes. You can ask me for any suggestions you need. I'll post this PDF in reflections group. Okay. I mean, I'll ask sir to post this in reflections group. Okay, Hashim says, when will prelims come from this only important topics? I didn't understand your Hashim. I didn't understand the question, Hashim. You can text me personally, Hashim. I'll clear your query. Yeah. So good night, everybody. I'm ending the class. I hope this class was helpful to all of you. Good night.